Hey art connoisseurs and tubers and pickers, it's Drew, and welcome to the first installment of the CPMA, which stands for the California Pickin Museum of Art. So let's get to it, people. This is the first installment of a series of videos that I'm going to be showing you of my own private collection of original artworks. And this first artist I'm just absolutely thrilled to come upon, and I want to share it with you. I acquired 4 original oil paintings by this artist, Joseph H. Rogozin, and that's R-O-G-O-Z-E-N. And Joseph H. Rogozin was born in Ohio around the turn of the century and died around the early to mid 70s. And he migrated to Arizona, and actually he was not only just a masterful painter both in portraiture and still lifes, but he was a founder of the School of Painting at the University of Arizona at Phoenix. So not only was he a great accomplished painter on his own, but he was a professor and a teacher of many, many artists that came along and grew into fine artists on their own and achieved their own different levels of success and fame and fortune. So I acquired 4 original oil paintings. 2 were on canvas and 2 were on artist board. This happens to be on canvas, so let's look at this one first. This is just an amazing image of himself, a self-portrait of William H. Rogozin. And you know, many artists did self-portraits, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, you name it. They like to paint themselves. And this is obviously looking in a mirror. And back then, you know, men and women, they would get dressed up before they would go out of the house. You know, men would wear 3-piece suits. The women would get all dressed up with their hats on, etc. And it was a very formal time then. And many artists would actually paint in 3-piece suits with a tie underneath their smock. You know, today we'd probably wear, you know, jeans and tennis shoes and a t-shirt. But here he's all really looking great in his artist frock. This painting is from around the early 1930s. It's not signed and it's not dated, but I'll tell you when I show you the next canvas why I know this is from the early 30s. This is him as a young man. And there were other canvases that I could have acquired of him as an older man. And they weren't quite as attractive. They were still superly well done. But I was able to acquire 4 of these from this period of time where I think he was truly at the height of all his artistic abilities. And this painting was probably one of the younger ones, but so strong. And his style probably changed a little bit over the years, got more colorful. But I want to just go in a little tight and review some of the little details that I really like on this. Here he is wearing a 3-piece suit, and that's the vest of an olive drab green 3-piece suit. And I love how he handles the shading and shadowing underneath the knot of the tie and under the collar here to give it some extra depth and dimension. Really excellently done. Now we move to his face, which is just crazy good. There's just not enough superlatives to use for how good he is. Now here we see this side of the face is in tight focus, and this side of the face is receding or in soft focus. And only a masterful painter can pull that off. And so I love how it's all soft, out of focus here, and how he gives you a little glint of color on his lips, which really like pop out. And of course, that eye staring at you Now I'm going to bring you up a little close. It's going to be a little shaky on the tripod here. Let's see if I can do this smoothly. But look at the level of detail in his face. And what I like about this, of his beard, you're actually seeing his stubble of his beard. So well done. And you see how he's highlighted it, his cheekbones with a little bit of peach, rosy peach quality. And then there's those eyes, guys. Wow. That's museum quality. There's no doubt about it. He's a master. And these works of art actually shouldn't even been where they were, where I got them. This should be in a museum. And I'll be looking into that, which I'll talk about later. But just striking image of him. Can't say enough about that piece. So let's go to the second piece. Oh, by the way, no, I'm not done. This piece does have some damage. It's been damaged by some water down here. And there's a couple things you can do about this. The first thing you can do is you can have it professionally conserved by a professional restorer. He can inpaint all this down here. But there's a lot of inpainting, and then it wouldn't be truly completely original. So it would be in restored condition. And it would also cost a lot of money to do this. So the next idea, which is probably more in my realm, I could sell it just as is, no problem. Maybe even have somebody stabilize all this flaking down here. But we can also cut it. Let me just put this back. Sorry about that. We can cut it right here and across. And I might get rid of a little bit of this, but it has to be the correct proportions or it's going to look a little strange. But this can be cut down, and actually the image can get even more striking because it'll be more vertical if you bring in the side borders. Over here on the left side we see, it's hard to tell from this on the video, but there's a cast iron heater right here, and that's how you used to heat your house. Cast iron heater. There's also, he's used a drape technique in back of him, which many artists use. Here's the drape. And that seems to be also in like an olive, dark olive drab. And for some of you that might be skeptical, this is an original canvas. There we see the old canvas, heavily aged from the 30s. The discoloration there. So this is the real deal, an original oil painting on canvas. Sorry, there's no wire on that, so that's the first piece. Now we go to piece number 2. This is also a self-portrait, and it's him a little bit older, and he's got a nice little mustache there. It's painted in 1936. It's signed. Down here in the lower right, Rogozin, 36. He's wearing a dark blue suit, looking really dapper. And the detail on this one is also incredible. It's in a period Art Deco-esque, Art Nouveau-esque, original gilded frame. Excuse me. And then here we see these little details on the corners. Well, it's missing half of one up here. And that I can probably fix with some clay and make a mold and actually get some gold leaf paint from the store and paint that. So if I do that and restore this frame, I'll probably do a video and show you later. This is probably the finest in terms of damage. This is without damage at all. The other three have different levels of slight in need of repair, but this one is absolutely perfect. This was under glass, you guys, and sometimes when artworks are under glass for, you know, it's 50, 100, you know, years old, it protects the canvas, and this thing just came out incredibly pristine. So I removed the glass. It photographs much better, and you never want to send picture glass through the mail. If this was an online auction, you just take the glass off and tell them the glass is not there, or the glass was never there, or they can get their own glass. But it's just not worth taking the risk of sending a very expensive painting with a piece of glass in there to only rip it up. So let's see. Let's go into some tight detail on him. And what's amazing about this of his portraiture is that he just nails it, you know. And these two that I just showed you have this very haunting quality to them, and it seems like his eyes follow you wherever he goes. So let's go show you what that will be like. So here I'm going way over to the left of my room on the side, and he's looking at you. And now I'm going to come back over, and you're going to see his eyes just following you. And I'm moving right, I'm moving 6, 7, 8 feet, 9 feet to the right, and he's still looking at you. Amazing. Same way with this one. Over here on the left. And now I'm moving right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 feet to the right, 8 feet, 9 feet, and he's still looking at you. That's a mark of an amazing, masterful artist who can do that. So that's the first two. Now we come to the next, which is also a self-portrait on board, painted on board. And this is him actually painting. And here we see his artist palette and his brushes, and he's painting on the beach there. He's a little bit older now, but his skill level is just crazy, crazy good. And I like certain aspects of this work. Let me go to it. I like how he's again done some nice shading, shadowing under here, and how he's treated the his paint brushes. And what's so cool is we get to see him actually doing what he does for a living. This is his job. So we see him. Another thing that's really great about this, he's showing you the canvas that he's painting on. There's the canvas right here, which I just showed you the back of the other one. So how cool is that? I have 2 of his canvases and 2 of his works on board. Now this has some damage also. This was next to the other one, and this has damage and can be repaired or be restored, but again, it's going to cost money, and it could be cut down. That's a possibility. This might just want to just be stabilized and put into a frame, because it's a really great one. But he kind of looks like a magician, like he's so proud of himself, and he should be, because he's that good. So next we go to the last one, which is a still life. It's a little harder to get to this one because of it's on an angle over here in my room. In the Gallery Museum of California Pickin Art, the CPMA. So I tell you what I like about this work. This is on canvas. It's signed. It's not dated. But I'll tell you what I'm seeing in this. This is like some type of marble bust of a woman's head and upper torso. and it's possibly marble or alabaster, and she's wearing like a period kind of medieval Renaissance style headdress right there, maybe 14th, 15th, 14th, 13th century headdress, really nicely rendered there. And I just love how he's able to show this this table setting as being like photorealistic almost, but still with a soft quality to it. Especially the spoon right here is really well done. He's shown you, I mean, he could put the spoon this way, he could put the spoon that way, but no, he shows it straight on. He foreshortens the spoon, showing you that he has the masterful abilities to make things look real in perspective. So that is just a super aspect about this compositional arrangement. And I love the shading under the great little matching teacups, and the shading under this little doily napkin, and it's all sitting on this side table with this very simple tablecloth with these red stripes almost looking like a dish towel. He's got this nice little painted bowl back here and a little jug pitcher, salt glaze maybe, and I really like this mottled spinach green arts and crafts style plate right there, and a little oriental-esque gourd shaped teapot, just super. And some type of screen back here. I'm not sure if that's an Asian screen or not, but I love when artists do this also, guys. When they show you some black in the background next to some silhouettes, it just pops like you can't believe. So that's a great technique that he's used there. So I'm just thoroughly so jazzed to have this work. Let me show you some close-ups of this, because this one is really super good. Let's get a little closer here. It's tight. I got to add a new wing to the California Pickin Museum soon, so I'm taking donations. But look at that, guys. I mean, crazy good. Now, it's got a couple condition issues. There's a little bit of loss right here and a little bit of paint loss right here, tiny little puckers. But that can be fixed, no problem. It could also be cleaned, and it would probably just completely jump out at you if it was cleaned. But I just think that it's an amazing piece of art, and it's probably just, I like it the way it is, you know. It's got that yellowy kind of nicotine kind of glaze to it. I just think it looks so period like that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with in terms of trying to clean or restore that or any of them. I may just sell these as is. So I tell you, I would love to sell these all to the same party, and I'm thinking of approaching the University of Arizona at Phoenix, because he's a native son, and these would actually really be great to go back home to where he taught at the University of Arizona. Now, as far as prices, I have to have these professionally appraised. I can give you some approximations, but I don't know how, and I'm not going to divulge what I paid for them. I got a very, very, very good deal. But either way, these canvases are each in the thousands, and I believe some could even go over that. And I'll just stay with that right now, because until we get them professionally appraised, it's all a guess. But we might be looking at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or more. I just don't know. Now let's say it was even less. You just, you know, whatever. It's a weird economy, and you can take what you can get. So if you like this video, if you like what I showed you today, please hit some likes, and please subscribe and come on back. And this, I think, is really one of the best. So good. Okay, pickers and tubers, cheers.